Welcome to DC Public Schools Back to School Town Hall. We are providing both American Sign Language and Spanish interpretation for this evening's event. My colleague Sophie is going to share some instructions for viewing the event in Spanish.
Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us. Buenas tardes. Muchas gracias por acompañarnos. This session is also available in Spanish. Esta sesión se encuentra disponible en español. Please use the link on the screen to join the session in Spanish. Por favor, use el enlace en la pantalla para participar en la sesión en español. Gracias.
To turn on captions for this event, please select the CC or Captions button on your screen. You can then select Turn on Live Captions and select the language which you would like to view. Now we'll give some instructions for the Q&A process. Throughout the event, we ask that you ask your questions using the Q&A function featured here. Once you ask your question, we will review it and then find the correct person to answer it for you. When an expert has answered your question, it'll be posted in the Q&A for all audience members to review. There will be a lot of questions coming through this evening, so we ask that you're patient as we address them all. And then at the end, we will try to leave some time for live Q&A as well. Now, to get us started with this evening's programming, I'd like to introduce our Chancellor, Dr. Louis Ferebee.
Thank you, Lauren, and good evening, DC Public Schools. The big moment is almost here. That's right, it's time for the first day of school. This evening, my colleagues and I from all areas of our Central Services team will provide important updates to help ensure our students begin the school year strong. First, I want to take a moment to reflect on just some of my favorite moments from this summer. We concluded the school year from 23-24 with over 20 graduation ceremonies, including our rainbow graduation, which is also pictured here, where you can see that many of our students persevered from across the district to earn their diplomas just a couple weeks ago and join more than 2,500 scholars that are part of the DCPS class of 2024. After speaking at the commencement exercises for Columbia Heights Education Campus and also at Anacostia High School, H.D. Woodson, and the final class for Roosevelt State before becoming Garnett Patterson for this school year, I can say I have so many inspiring moments and look forward to our alumni and the great things that they will accomplish in their next phase of life and their journeys. And on the topic of inspiring students, I celebrated over a dozen DCPS scholars this month who participated in the MICFA DC Summer Fellowship Program, which connects our youth to public service, internships, and government. The photo here on the bottom right captured is just one of the hopeful conversations I had with our young people who are using their voice to inspire change throughout our city. I can also see in the snapshot students participating in DCPS food service program, which served over 60,000 breakfasts and over 80,000 lunches this summer. So thank you and shout out to our food services team for going above and beyond to ensure that our students have access to a nutritious meal. And then our educators. I hope you took some time to recharge during the summer months. And I hope that you're taking the time to get ready, because certainly we will need to be ready day one to receive our students next week. This past Monday, Mayor Bowser and city leaders joined me for a DCPS pre-service pep rally to celebrate Alicedale Middle School educators and staff as they return to their school building. And I will tell you this, our DCPS staff had a lot of energy. It goes to show that we still know how to do a pep rally well. But I also look forward to welcoming our scholars back in the building and also celebrating with them. As I reflect back on this summer, there's so much that we have to be proud of. There's so many moments to reminisce on. But one of the things that I think is important for us to call out that's not from this summer is at the beginning of 2024, we launched the DCPS 5-year strategic plan made a commitment as a part of this plan to our community to push our priorities and goals to ensure that you were with us lockstep in how we achieve excellence over the next 5 years. And so the DCPS team tonight will provide further insights on areas this evening from our plan, because back to school information is about just that, all of the commitments we made and how our partners can assist us in this journey. And so tonight we will ensure that you have all the information and resources that you need to have a successful school year from day one to day 180. So when it comes to having a successful school year, one of the things we know is critical is attendance. And so we want everyone to be prepared for school. And this is a key part of the equation for greatness. And so I'm going to ask my colleague, DCPS Chief of Integrity, Cynthia Ruiz, to share more information and insights on how to make every day count. And so it's my pleasure at this time to turn it over to Ms. Ruiz.
Thank you, Chancellor, and good evening, DCPS families. Thank you again for choosing DCPS. As you all know, it is critically important for our students to be in school every day and on time, especially starting on day one. I'm here just to share a few reminders as it pertains to attendance, and just a few highlights if you have not had a chance to review our attendance policy. If you haven't had a chance to review our attendance policy, I highly recommend you all take a few minutes to review the policy online. If you do have specific questions or want to get additional information around our policy, I also encourage you all to please reach out to your school attendance POC, who will have a better understanding of the day-to-day operational attendance procedures and can clarify any attendance policy questions. In addition to that, I know most of you elementary school families have also received our notice regarding our 60/40 attendance implementation. Just a friendly reminder that we are required by the DC Office of the State Superintendent of Education to follow the 60/40 rule as it pertains to absences. Please know that if there is an absence related to a medical appointment, but you submit your excusal notes, please note that that absence will be excused. If you have additional questions related to the 60/40 rule, please do not hesitate to contact your school directly. They will be able to guide you and point you in the right direction in terms of our policy and specific scenarios as they come about. Next slide, please. Lastly, again, we are excited to have you on Monday for our K through 12 families, and then of course our pre-K families next Thursday, but just friendly reminders around some of the routines related to the first day. Please remember to do things at night, get the routines in order as much as you can, so we're up in the morning and ready to start the day great. Make sure that there is sort of a routine for after school. And, you know, having those conversations with our students about what it means to go to sleep at a regular time if possible, and waking up early again to make sure that we're on time for school. Again, I am going to say that we're excited to have you back. And throughout the year, we will be in contact in many different ways. You will hear from us centrally directly and from your school related to our attendance policies, our attendance initiatives, and in different ways that we're going to be working with our school and our school community to ensure that attendance is critical and that we are committed to ensuring our students are there daily, and we partner with our families. Again, thank you for choosing DCPS, and we all look forward to seeing you on Monday or Thursday of next week. Thank you. I'm going to kick it off to my colleague, Chief Colgan, who will share a little bit more.
Thank you, Cynthia. And good evening, everyone. I am Corey Colgan. I'm the Chief of Teaching and Learning for DC Public Schools. And I'm so excited to talk to you about some of the joyful and rigorous learning experiences we have available. And what better way to talk about fun in the classrooms than to talk about cornerstones. Cornerstones continue to be a part of our strategic plan, and they are high quality experiential learning opportunities that are for all students across the district. So on the next slide, you can see some examples of some of the engaging learning opportunities that our cornerstones provide. So I will highlight just a few from this slide. In first grade, our students have the opportunity to engage in the aeronautical engineering cornerstone. They become reflective engineers by building and refining a mock airplane and sharing observations on its design and flight. This cornerstone is in partnership with the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum, and teachers can visit the Wright brothers exhibit for a self-guided activity designed specifically for this lesson, or a read aloud with a museum educator and demonstrated craft activity. In grades 3 through 5, in art, students explore how color is used to depict emotion and learn about other cultures. They learn how artists use line, shape, color, and space to depict emotions in works of art and photos. Then they apply the concepts of color coding to their own feelings by creating a portrait of an emotion using paint. Throughout this lesson, they are demonstrating their learning about social emotional skills, and they become skilled at caring for self and others. And lastly, I'll highlight the Life I Choose, which is one of our more powerful cornerstones at the high school level for student voice and choice. In this cornerstone, students have teaching artists visit their classrooms and help them to create their own poetry, narrative poetry about their own lives, and they have the opportunity to then participate in a district-wide poetry slam. You may have noticed my background. So here at DCPS, we are all math people. So I want to take a moment to talk about DREAM. DREAM is what we call our DCPS Road to Equity and Achievement in Mathematics. And it is our initiative to ensure we dramatically increase math outcomes for all of our students, opening doors to many STEM-related careers in their future. So how can you support your student at home for this journey? A few tips. You can learn more about the curriculum in use at your child's school. Each of our 3 major math curricula listed here: building blocks for our early childhood learners, Eureka Math for K-5, and illustrative mathematics in our secondary grades have parent overviews. And you can request these. They can be sent home by our teachers. And there are also videos that explain a little more about the curriculum and how you can support it at home on our Parent University recordings page. Secondly, our students have the opportunity to practice and strengthen important math skills in one of our blended learning platforms. So you can see iReady, Zern, and Delta Math, and these are all available through the platform Clever, which your students will learn about at school. And so we ask you to encourage your students to meet the goals that have been set by their teacher for time spent on these programs. And then lastly, it is okay. We are this year especially really leaning into the idea of productive struggle, where students are going to be grappling with deep thinking. But if you feel that your child is too frustrated or is struggling too much, please have them make a note of their questions, and you or they can reach out to the teacher. There are also opportunities for homework help hotlines, which my colleague, Dr. Bay, will talk about in just a moment. We can go ahead here to talk about some of the enrichment opportunities we have at DCPS. So a part of our strategic plan is to increase equitable access to enriching opportunities. So this evening, I wanted to highlight just a couple of examples of these opportunities. So one such opportunity is access to college level work while being supported by our amazing high school educators in an advanced placement or AP course. All of our high schools offer AP courses, and you can see a little bit more information about the slides. Students have the on the slide, students have the opportunity to earn college credit in this course if they are successful in the exam at the end of the course. For many years now, we have been increasing the number of students who enroll in AP courses and the percentage of students who are passing their exams and therefore earning college credit. So we recommend, if you or your student are interested but maybe unsure about AP courses, please talk to your high school team. And the courses specifically listed on the slide: AP African American Studies, AP Pre-Calculus, AP Seminar, and AP Computer Science Principles are courses that are considered AP Access courses, and they are considered to be great first choices for students who may be taking their first AP class. Another example of how we are providing access to enriching opportunities is within the area of global studies. So within global studies, we have many programs, and I'm highlighting a few here for you this evening. First, many of you may have heard about DCPS Study Abroad. This is an amazing opportunity that we have to allow our students access to global experiences through travel. So DCPS 8th grade, 11th grade, students participating in Certificate 3 track and Opportunity Academy students are all eligible to apply to participate in study abroad if they are taking a world language or studying another language. And they will have the opportunity to increase their study of that language through immersion, through cultural immersion, or STEM travel or service learning. Past locations have included Spain, Costa Rica, Morocco, France, and Taiwan. And this program is fully funded for our students, including the travel, hotel, food, excursion, insurance, visa, and passports. So we really want to make this an amazing opportunity that is accessible to all of our students. We also have an embassy adoption program where our 5th and 6th grade students have the opportunity to work directly with one of the embassies here in DC and learn a lot more about another culture and nation. And we have a culminating event where students participate in a mini United Nations. We have virtual exchanges, and for students who really love global education, we have the opportunity for students to earn a Global Scholar Certificate, which is a recognition on their diploma and transcript that indicates that a student has dedicated significant time to developing their global competence and has demonstrated an exceptional level of global understanding. So I would now like to turn it over to our Deputy Chancellor of Social Emotional Academic Development, Dr. Juana Bay, to tell you a little bit more about the learning in our classrooms.
Thanks, Corey. Good evening, families, educators, and friends. I am so excited to start this new school year off with each of you. As Corey mentioned, we have lots in store for students and families, and I look forward to the opportunities we have for students to grow and learn together. This year in DCPS, we will continue our Empowered Learning Initiative, which ensures our students learn the technology skills they need to be prepared for their futures. We will also continue our focus on supporting our educators and maximizing the power of technology to enhance student learning. We have equipped our schools with 1-to-1 ratios of devices in grades 3 through 12 and 3-to-1 ratios of devices in kindergarten through 2nd grade. Our students have a variety of opportunities to utilize technology throughout the school day, whether it is through the use of a personal device or classroom devices such as smartboards. Next slide, please. With the ever-evolving world of technology that our children are growing and learning, we are hyper-focused on ensuring our students are safe, are responsible, and respectful digital citizens. In DCPS, we use Common Sense Education's K-12 digital citizenship curriculum to teach students the skills and competencies they need to successfully navigate digital resources, social media, and artificial intelligence, or AI, as we hear it commonly known as. There are several ways in which we invite your partnership in making sure that students have the guidance at school as well as home to continue to use and interact with technology in a positive way. I encourage you to visit DCPS Digital Literacy and Citizenship Family Portal for additional resources and guidance throughout the year. Next slide, please. And last but not least, our DCPS libraries and our DC public libraries have lots of resources to support our learners. I'd especially like to highlight BrainFuge, which is a free homework and tutoring service offered in partnership with DC Public Library. It is an outstanding service to support our students with study skills and the completion of their school assignments. It can also give us parents a few tips as well. You can learn more at the link that you see on the screen. Thank you so much for your time this evening and looking forward to seeing everyone on Monday. Now, I would like to pass it to Jose Lopez, Director of Family Services for the Early Childhood Education Division.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jose Lopez, the Director of Family Services with the Early Childhood Education Division. Transitioning to pre-kinder is a significant step for both our students and our families. To support you through this process, we have resources available on our Ready for Pre-Kinder website. There you will find a family toolkit that we have developed with materials to assist you in preparation for the first day of school. Few ways to help your child prepare for this transition. Reading books that discuss starting school can help them familiarize with what to expect. We have a list of recommended books available in our family toolkit. Take a trip to school, drive by, or take pictures so your child can get to know what the school looks like. This can help ease the anxiety about the new environment. Since routines may change over the summer, start talking about what the school routine will be like. Creating a visual schedule can help your child understand what to expect each morning and after school. Develop a goodbye ritual to provide reassurance during dropout. Let your child know every day that you will return at the end of the day to pick up them. These steps can make the transition smoother and more comfortable for your child. Next. There are also a few things that you can expect and will want to look for if your child is in pre-kinder. First, the school has been organizing and hosting some summer play days or parent engagement activities. We still have few of them that are going to be happening in the next couple of days. If you need more information, contact your school. They will let you know when these events are planned or will be happening. Also, your teacher will be reaching out to schedule a home visit, typically during the first 3 days of school. During these visits, teachers will welcome you and your child to DCPS and begin building a strong family-school partnership. To ensure that we plan helpful parent programming for the school year, we will ask our pre-K families to complete an interest survey early in the school year. Our family services specialists in the Title I schools will be passing out the surveys, and we will plan activities that you will get more information ahead during the year. And the most important part, the first day of pre-K is Thursday, August 29th. We can't wait to see all of you. Thank you. I will transition into the Director of Sixth Grade Academies, Mr. Gray.
Thank you, and good evening, families. We have so many amazing things happening at our middle schools this year, and one of those is Sixth Grade Academy. We launched this first of its kind initiative last year at 11 middle schools with the goal of providing students a more seamless, supportive transition into middle school. Research from across the country shows that sixth grade is truly a make or break year for students, with one study concluding that sixth graders with poor attendance, grades, or behavior have only a 10 to 20% chance of graduating high school on time. With Sixth Grade Academy, we work to ensure every student finds academic success and a sense of belonging in their first year of middle school. In addition to dedicated staff, individualized supports, and increased family engagement, Sixth Grade Academy students participate in quarterly signature experiences that promote collaboration and connection to their school community. On your screen, you see a photo from a Washington Wizards practice and career fair our students attended last fall. Go to the next slide. We had some really encouraging results from year one of Sixth Grade Academy, including a 10-point drop in chronic absenteeism, which is the percentage of students who miss at least 10% of school days. That improved attendance helped contribute to a 7-point increase in students passing their core classes and a 6-point increase in students meeting their individual math growth goals. The most significant improvement was around our students' sense of belonging, which increased 14 points from the previous school year. While we are proud of these results, we will continue to refine and improve Sixth Grade Academy under the leadership of our incredible 11 Academy assistant principals. Thank you so much. And to hear about athletics, I'll pass it over to Senior Deputy Chief Glenn Starnes.
Thanks, Greg, and good evening, families. We are extremely excited about the school year, and we are looking forward to an amazing school year. School will begin on Monday, and our fall sports season will begin shortly thereafter. Here in DCPS, we have an array of sports offerings at all levels, elementary, middle, and high school. At the elementary level, our sports team offerings are inclusive of those on the screen for fall, winter, and spring sports. Students must be fully enrolled in school before they can participate in our athletic programs, and we ask that all families consult with your school-based athletic director if you have any questions regarding our DCIAA eligibility. At the middle school level, our sports offerings expand, and as noted on the screen, we have a number of sports offerings for both fall, winter, and spring, and a number of these opportunities expand to include sports such as lacrosse and unified basketball, which is co-ed. At the high school level, we know and realize that a number of students often are very interested in competing in our high school sports teams. Here at the high school level, as noted on our screen, we have sports teams for fall, winter, and spring, which includes co-ed cheer, varsity cross country, JV and varsity football, in addition to our winter sports, which includes swimming, and our spring sports, which includes varsity flag football. We again are excited about opportunities for our sports offerings in DCPS from grades 4 through 12th and encourage our families to consult with our school-based athletic directors for all questions regarding eligibility in our DCIAA sports teams in DC Public Schools. At this time, I'll transition it to our Chief, Paige Hoffman, who will speak more about immunizations and mental health.
Thank you. Good evening, families. I am so excited to talk to you this evening about how we can partner together to ensure healthy students and healthy schools for school year 24-25. Next slide, please. A key part of ensuring healthy students in schools is ensuring that all students are up to date on their required childhood immunizations at the start of the school year. We recognize that families may need support in getting up to date with vaccines and wanted to share the QR code here so that you can see locations across the city where you can get all of your childhood vaccines. There's also a link listed here where you can access that same site. I wanted to flag that only non-compliant students in grades pre-K 3, K, 7, and 11 will be eligible for temporary exclusion if they are not compliant with the required immunizations beginning on December 9th. We are going to send reminders in October and November to you to make sure that you are aware of your child's status before temporary exclusion. But please note, if you have any questions or you want to discuss where your child is with their immunizations, do not hesitate to reach out to the House Suite and they can make sure to get you the information that you need. Next slide. To support us in ensuring that your student is healthy at school, we also ask that you send in and submit any updated health documentation for your students at the beginning of the year. That ensures that we can provide the best care possible to each of the students in our schools. This documentation for all students includes the Universal Health Care Certificate, and if relevant, may also include the Allergy Action Plan, dietary accommodations, and any new or ongoing medical needs. Next slide. We also know that a key part of ensuring healthy schools is also attending and supporting student mental health. Every school has a school behavioral health coordinator who is a liaison for the school mental health team. We are incredibly proud at DCPS to have such comprehensive mental health teams. This includes licensed social workers, school psychologists, school counselors, and community-based mental health partners who provide comprehensive services for students. On the slide, you can see a sample of topics that they are available to support students in. If you have any questions, please ask your school to connect you to your school-based health coordinator. Next slide. I also wanted to draw your attention to a place where you can make a referral for students. So you can scan the QR code or go to our website where we have referral forms in multiple languages. Thank you again for your partnership this year and your support in ensuring that we are going to be able to keep our students healthy and our schools healthy. I'm now going to transition to our Deputy Chancellor, Patrick Ashley.
Thanks, Paige, and good evening to everyone. Like everyone else, I'm super excited for Monday to start and welcome all our kids back to DCPS. I'm going to talk about how we keep our kids safe, fed, and get our schools to our great school facilities. And so we're excited this year to continue partnering with the Office of the Deputy Mayor for Public Safety and Justice for the Safe Passage and Safe Blocks program. Focusing on 12 priority areas this year, which is Anacostia, Brooklyn, Columbia Heights, Congress Heights, Eastern, Fort Todd, L'Enfant, Noma, Petworth, Potomac Avenue, and Tenleytown. And those 215 individuals are extra eyes and ears out in the community that help to make sure that our kids get to school safe. They help to share information and share information with our schools. As we talk about some of the drills at our schools, it's important for parents to know, and we can go to the next slide, that we do a number of emergency drills throughout the school year, starting in the first week of school. And so you'll all be familiar with some of the fire drills we do. We also do lockdown drills and other drills to make sure that our staff and our kids are prepared what to do in case of an emergency. On the subject of emergencies, we can go to the next slide. I want to talk briefly about some of the emergency statuses that may apply within the school buildings if something in the community were to happen and we need to take action to be able to protect our kids. So one of the terms you may hear is a reverse evacuation. That's where we take anyone that is outside of the school building that's associated with the school and bring them back into the school to shelter inside of the school. And that can happen in a number of conditions, especially related to sheltering in place, such as if there's severe weather outside or environmental hazards. Two other terms you may or may not be familiar with is an alert status. An alert status, when a building goes on alert status, means that no one can come in or out of the building because something is going on around the school, and we want to make sure that we're protecting everyone inside the school. Academic operations continues, but there's no one allowed to go in or out of the school when we're in alert status. We do that in collaboration with our public safety partners throughout the community. And then our highest level of alert is a lockdown. And that's where individuals go into the classrooms, they shut the doors, they lock the doors. And instruction no longer continues until the threat is safely mitigated by our public safety partners. We hope that we never have to use those, but we want you to be familiar with those terms. As we turn our attention to keeping our kids fed, and we know that that's very important to their learning, I want to remind you that everyone is eligible for free breakfast for all of our schools throughout the DCPS community. And as a reminder, please let your school know of any dietary restrictions. You can learn more about our food program at dcps.dc.gov/food for menus and payment information or how to apply for free or reduced lunch. And a very important last word on meals: if your students have allergies, please make sure you send your dietary accommodations information to the school so that we can make sure that we have the right meals prepared for your students. The form is also available on our website. On the next slide, you'll see some expectations for visitors. We want to make sure that we have some shared norms on if you choose to visit the school and how we focus on how to best support student teaching and learning while maintaining safe learning environments at our schools. Transportation, and so Kids Ride Free. We're continuing our partnership with WMATA through the mayor's office to be able to do the Kids Ride Free initiative. Schools will have inventories of Kids Ride Free cards. The current Kids Ride Free cards that you may have from the last school year are still active and they can still be available for use until September 30th. You'll need to get a new card from your school if you want to continue to use this benefit after September 30th. And just as a reminder, one of the things that WMATA or the Metro is doing this year is now for kids that are over the age of 13, they can take their Kids Ride Free card and be able to transfer that to be able to use with the Apple Wallet if you have an iPhone, and you can use that in lieu of the plastic card. I mean, as a reminder on Aussie transportation, if your student is eligible for Aussie transportation, but you do not need to utilize this service because you plan to transport your student to the school, please make sure you contact your school to decline transportation. This allows Aussie to be able to appropriately plan their resources. I wanted to turn our attention to our school buildings, and we've been very fortunate this year and every year to be able to continue to modernize and do renovations at many of our schools. And so we're going to flip through some pictures, and you'll see on the screen all the ones that we're delivering this month, and take a look at some of the beautiful campuses that we continue to create to provide the highest quality learning spaces for our students. So I'm going to now transition over to Deputy Chief Lauren Brown, who's going to talk about partnering with our community.
Thank you, Patrick. I'd like to take a moment to introduce you to our community action team. These folks are 4 specialists who are assigned to at least 2 wards each, and they really expand DCPS's community presence. They support schools and their engagement efforts and really help to cultivate our stakeholder relationships. Our CAT has enabled DCPS in schools to connect more deeply with stakeholders, and you should look forward to seeing them in your school, supporting your local school advisory teams, engaging with your parent organizations, and also bridging the gap between schools and other citywide stakeholders and community partners. So we hope that you see these folks in your buildings, that you see them as additional resources in your community. So we have been able to get through an enormous amount of content, which allows us to have some time for to respond to some questions that were elevated in the registration. So just thank you all who contributed questions when you registered for this event. So now we will, I'll take some time to read some of these out, and then some of the experts that you've heard from today will have an opportunity to share responses. So Chancellor, would you mind sharing what protection do you all have to make sure that it's safe for our students to exit when school is over? Will there be any more school security to walk around the school perimeter?
Thank you, Lauren, for that question. We appreciate the considerations for safety. As in years past, safety for our students on campus, to campus, and leaving campus remains a priority for us and is paramount. So we have refined, as you heard from Deputy Chancellor Ashley, some of our protocols for safety this year, an enhancement to the school day. So you should expect adults that are part of the school staff, our contract security, also our partners in the Metropolitan Police Department, along with the DCPS Police Department, will all be assisting with safety around the campus as students arrive on campus and leave. We ask that if any community member, student, or family is aware of any threat for safety, that they quickly make us aware and we will respond accordingly. And then we're also proud to partner with the mayor's office on several partnerships, from our partnership with Safe Passage to our neighborhood partnership organizations as well, that assist us also ensuring that students are able to have a safe time on campus.
Thank you for that. Dr. Bay, would you be able to just recirculate any information about schedules, required school supplies, logistics? Where would be the best place for folks to find that information?
Yes, thank you for that question. For our secondary students, our middle and high school students, schedules are actually available in the parent portal. So you'll be able to take a look at your student schedule and have that information prior to school starting. We will also distribute schedules on the first day. And there'll be also opportunities for students and families to communicate directly with the school if they have questions about the schedule or if they want to make changes and things of that nature. As it relates to supplies, each school post that information for their parents and families in terms of supplies. And so I would just encourage families to reach out directly to the school or look on the school's website where that information should be posted.
Thank you so much. Patrick, I have a couple questions for you, one related to transportation and then one related to food and nutrition, like you just spoke of. So related to transportation, how's DCPS coordinating with WMATA to ensure students can get to school by bus? Frequency of some routes is much reduced, like the M4 to Jackson Reed and Deal.
Yeah, thanks, Lauren. So we work very closely with our transportation partners throughout the city to make sure that we have safe and appropriate transportation for school. And you'll see that in our Safe Passage program, our partnerships with Aussie. And we do frequently have conversations with the WMATA regarding their bus transportation system. And WMATA has reached out to many schools to have conversations related to their bus transportation.
Thank you. And then related to food and nutrition, can you share any updated information or news on lunch programs for the upcoming school year? Will there be any new vendors?
Yeah, so we're excited that we have a new contract with our food vendors, and so we have 4 food vendors that provide food to the DC Public Schools, and that is Sodexo, DC Central Kitchen, and new to us this year is Aramark, and can't forget to mention our self-operated program. And so you can find those menus on dcps.dc.gov/food, where you can hear all about the exciting offerings at each of your school. We also will be doing some taste tests and trying some new products throughout our schools. And we also will do some partnering with our local embassies for some international food days as well. So we're really excited about the next year when it comes to keeping our kids fed so that they can learn.
Thank you for sharing. Glenn, this is a great question for you, I think. Would you be able to share if there are any new extracurriculars being offered this year?
Absolutely. That's a great question. And so we are extremely excited about the opportunity where a number of our schools will be expanding their sports offerings to be inclusive of a number of the sports that we have named on the screen earlier. And that would be at the elementary, middle, and high school level. And so there could be a sports team that a school did not have last year that they are looking to add to their portfolio for the upcoming school year. In addition, we do know that extracurricular opportunities by way of clubs and student organizations are extremely important to our students. And so our schools do have opportunities to add and create student clubs and organizations throughout the school year. And I'd encourage families to reach out directly to their schools in regards of the comprehensive list of sports programs and extracurricular clubs and organizations which are available. And a number of those can also be found on the school websites.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Cynthia, here's a great question that I think you'll be suited for. It sounds specific, but this is something many families experience. They say, my son has weekly doctor's appointments and I got a letter excuse from his doctor. Even though the letter, even with the letter, DCPS is saying that he's missing those days. What else can I do to avoid those days being counted as missing or unexcused?
Thank you, Lauren, and thank you for that question. And you're right, I do see that and hear that from parents. I just do want to provide a little bit of clarity in terms of what unexcused and excused absences mean for chronic absenteeism. Just want to define that chronic absenteeism is excused and unexcused absences. And I think that is sort of the gap in understanding the protocol and the definitions for all things related to attendance and truancy. So do want to name that first. For this particular scenario, I hear you loud and clear. We are working very closely with our attendance POCs to ensure that the attendance notes, the doctor's notes are put into the system pretty promptly. I am happy to dig further and probably connect with you in the school POC around this particular scenario. If there is already a cadence with doctor's appointment, I think just having a meeting at the beginning of the school year to set those expectations and already be upfront with the doctor's notes or the schedule and sort of the timing of those doctor's appointments probably makes the most sense. And that would be my recommendation as a next step. explaining sort of from the beginning of the school year, this is the situation, this is how it's excused, and ensuring that the system updates it pretty accurately and pretty quickly. But yeah, again, happy to answer any specific questions that you all have for the broader attendance policy, and just thank you for the feedback around the notes. I know that you all are working extremely hard to ensure that our students are in school every day, then that they're in school throughout the day, and appreciate you all providing just sort of the excuse of notes where appropriate.
Thank you for that, Cynthia. Corey, here's one teed up for you. Will there be any updates for after-school care? I was waitlisted, but wanted to know if there are any other options available.
All right, thank you for that question, Lauren. This is actually really a school by school situation, depending on, the wait list and where we are on the wait list. And I know it can be frustrating to be placed on a wait list. We know after school programming is really important to our families. I do want to let everyone know that wait lists frequently can and do move, especially at the beginning of the year as families are sorting out their plans. We do see a lot of movement. So it is possible that may change. And what will happen is an OSTP staff member would reach out if a spot opens up. We are constantly checking the list for new spots, and anyone is also able to reach out to the after school team directly here at DCPS Central Services to see if they may have suggestions of other opportunities. And that email, which we can perhaps place in the chat, is afterschool.dcps@k12.dc.gov.
Thank you for that. And OSTP is out of school time partner.
Correct.
Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so I think at this point I'm going to pass it back to the Chancellor so that he can share some updates about the rest of the summer and then this coming school year.
Thank you, Lauren. I appreciate all of the updates from my colleagues and the Central Service team. And I have a few more to go over before we close this evening. So first, again, I just want to remind everyone the day that school begins. So school begins on Monday, August 26th for grades K through 12, and Thursday, August 29th for our pre-K students. Again, just a reminder that first day of school is August 26 for our students that are in grades K through 12, and for pre-K, Thursday, August 29th. If you have not done so already, please complete your child's enrollment forms and book your child's wellness visits to ensure that they're up to date on their immunizations. Also, students must be fully enrolled in school before they can participate in athletics. So if you have questions, please consult with your school-based athletic director, or if you have any other questions, please reach out to that director in regards to DCIAA eligibility. I want to again reiterate Chief Ruiz's message about school attendance. Coming to school every day is critical to student success, and we're here to support you when you need it. So please don't hesitate to reach out to your school attendance counselor if there are any questions about attendance. We have this year new and updated K through 8th grade family curriculum guides. They're now available to help support your child's learning at home and can provide valuable information about what they will be learning this school year. You can also use our parent portal in Aspen to stay informed of your child's progress and attendance. And also in middle school and high school, families can also view their children's grades and assignments, so you can keep up with what's happening in the classroom. If you need assistance with assessing where your child is, and you need assistance getting into the parent portal, please contact your school's registrar and they can assist you with assessing where students are and getting into the portal. If you have, again, any questions, feel free to reach out to your school. We're also committed to sharing information and resources around special education services within DC Public Schools. And so we have a special education family guide, which provides information, including our individualized education program toolkit for parents and caregivers that helps provide information and also steps needed for a special education referral. So for more information, please visit our special education family guide website or use the QR code that's on the screen. Families can also contact your school's special education coordinator and connect with your child's teacher or email us at dcps.spedconcerns@k12.dc.gov. Again, that's dcps.spedconcerns@k12.dc.gov. Again, that's if you have any questions about special education services. DCPS is also so proud to serve a diverse student population with more than 8,000 multilingual learners and over 12,900 considered to be linguistically and culturally diverse. We offer translation and interpretation services for students and families, and all families have a right to request interpretation in a language that they understand, regardless of whether bilingual staff is immediately available. A service called the Language Line is also available at all schools, and schools have been trained on how to use it, and they can also use this tool when working with linguistically diverse families. It's important to complete the home language survey, which provides us valuable information. It is in your enrollment package, and it helps us understand what the preferred language is for correspondence and also ways that we can contact you and reach out to you in regards to your preferred language. If you need any assistance or you have questions, please reach out to the DCPS Language Access Division for additional assistance. And lastly, mark your calendars for one of my favorite events, our Back to School Block Party. So we're going to have a block party again. This is an annual event. We invite the community out, and it's a great, I think, start to the school year. It typically happens in September. This year is going to be on Saturday, September the 14th at Jefferson Middle School. We look forward to you joining us there. As always, there's food, there's activities for young people, lots of games, and resources for our families. So we hope to see you there. We know that this is going to be another strong year for DC Public Schools, our students, and our families. We're excited to extend a warm welcome to our DCPS family and community as we welcome you back for first day for our students on Monday, August 26th. We appreciate you joining us tonight. We appreciate the entire village and families that are key partners in our students' educational journey. Thank you for everything that you do. Have a good evening.